Hey guys, welcome back to Beast Quest, Series 13, Book 1. Now of course being Screik, the Forest Demon. Yeah. Tom had been training for days, of course, so yeah, I should actually say before we start, but you know, we are going to go with the plot and story, and then I give my overall thoughts, like I always do. And like always, full in-depth story spoilers and all that stuff, so get ready for that. But yeah, like I was saying, let's begin the story. Tom had been training for days, waiting to face the judge again, as he had betrayed them and was really the man responsible for Kensen Sampeo's actions. Yeah, Kensen Sampeo. Soon after meeting up with Eleanor, they were transferred to the Circle of Wizards, where we learn that the Circle doesn't know that the judge is a traitor. He temporarily paralyzes the court and blasts Daltec, as he explains his real reasons for summoning them. The judge shows Tom a scroll that forbids warriors to take the Warrior's Road, a quest which was the original way to earn the title Master/Mistress of the Beasts in Avancia. But it was stopped as it was too dangerous, but the judge burns the contract, breaking the forbidden rule. With the contract gone, Tom loses his golden armor powers and will only get it back if he completes the Warrior's Road. Tom vows he will beat this, not just to get his armor back, but also to restore his father's name. I am glad that the judge is the main villain. Sampeo and Kenta are still doing it for me. Still doing it for me. Maybe it's because Malvel and Velma had much more impact, and this judge still plays by the rules, making him more enjoyably dangerous. Our heroes tell the king what happened. Now, I will mention, they say in this book the king didn't know about the judge's betrayal, which is not true, because in the last book, he was involved with the fight against him at the end of Series 12. But anyway, Adaro gives Tom a map which will take him on the Warrior's Road. It will, you know, it seems while taking this quest, the world will change, no doubt presenting new challenges. Adaro also mentioned beasts as other obstacles presented as tests on his journey. Finally, Adaro mentioned they couldn't take Storm and Silver, as it was too dangerous for them, but Eleanor would still come along. Tom and friends say goodbye to Storm, but it seemed they were still bringing Silver along for this one. Tom prayed for his father's spirit for support, and he headed out. Tom soon realized only he could see the Warrior's Road. Makes sense, he's the one who's attempting to earn back his title and powers. However, the trail led to Erenel, Tom's hometown, and this village was quiet with destruction, which could only be caused by a beast. One of Tom's trials had started to emerge, and where better to start than his own hometown, Erenel. Soon enough, Tom found his aunt and uncle, but sudden danger approached them fast. Tom rescued his aunt and uncle, but without his golden armor powers, he just barely made it out. They explained that the town's children had been disappearing one by one. Soon, search parties were sent out, but they gave up, while others still carry and remain at dead ends. Tom's uncle described that the beast as vague as he could see, a sluggish beast. They headed forward, leaving Silver to protect Tom's aunt and uncle, should the beast ever return. Tom also felt guilty. He had no idea that accepting the Warrior's Road would affect others aside himself. And yeah, soon they came across people with sharp weapons. Our heroes were soon spotted by them, and they ordered them killed, as they accused them of stealing their children, telling me they are unaware of the beast. Tom and Eleanor fought off the attackers and soon recognized one another as villagers of Erenel. They claimed they had come to seek vengeance on the beast that had took their children. Tom let him take care of the situation. If he was not back by dusk, they had no choice but to burn the entire forest down. Tom and Eleanor searched the woods only to wonder, was the beast only kidnapping the children to distract from Tom's quest, or was this the test itself? Anyway, Tom heard the children cry, and he quickly raced off, causing Eleanor to get lost. When he went back to find her, he only found her half drenched in slime from the beast. The slime seems to have a mind of its own, as it refused to let its victim go. Despite Tom's best efforts, then Tom sensed the beast with the power of the red jewel on his magical belt. He told Tom to prepare to face him, like I like where this is going. Tom attempted to rescue Eleanor, which soon proved successful. Tom shared the beast's name with Eleanor, Screik, and speaking of the beast finally emerged, they discovered that the slime came from Screik's mouth, and his slimy body negated their weapons' effects. They had to fall back to tree level, but it would only be a matter of time before Screik had them. However, of the children of Erenel, one of them had revealed. Sarah had been revealed, and she tried to run, only to be caught by Screik, and added to the rest of the victims. As she was encased in slime and hoisted up, I do like how Screik's slime is sentient, and yet you still have no confirmation if the children are dead or not. Eleanor went to find the children, so it would seem that the story is telling us that they are alive, which I assume they would. With Screik in pursuit of Eleanor, Tom noticed the villagers were attacking sooner than expected. Tom spoke to them and borrowed one of their torches because when they arrived, Screik quickly retreated, making Tom assume he was afraid of fire. He told all his people to trust him, and he promised he would return the children. So off he went, and they all found where Screik keeps his victims. Tom tossed Eleanor his sword so she could cut free the children, while Tom used the torch to scare off Screik. If it was working after some evasive fighting, Tom tossed a large wooden branch in his throat, and that was the perfect moment to attack Screik with the torch, which really did the damage. Tom had defeated Screik, and as he faded, Tom's shield had been left behind, which had been stolen during an early encounter, along with some slime balls, which transferred into a mysterious set of gloves, no doubt tokens for defeating Screik. Tom told the children that Screik was dead, and he won't bother them for quite some time, not until someone else takes that warrior's road. I like that concept that these beasts can come back as some sort of cursed spell to challenge new warriors. Erenel now was saved, and our heroes had to move out. It would seem that the quest might be taking them to another kingdom. But yeah, that is Screik the Forest Demon. A nice introduction to the Warrior's Road. I like that the beasts are trials, and it's a new way of going about it. So it's kind of making Tom really earn. This is what Tom should have done to really earn the golden armor, but it was never used because it was too dangerous. And now Tom finally gets to pass that test and do these challenges. And of course you've got the judge as the villain, and we don't know what Ken and Senpei are up to, so probably he's using this as a decoy while Ken and Senpei are getting the real work done. There are a few missteps in there. I didn't mention the shield till the very end, but you know. And there was a plot hole in there where they mentioned that King Hugo was not involved in the final fight last series when I said he was. So that's a bit of a plot hole. But for what it is, it's still a great start to Series 13. And I look forward to doing the next book, our next adventure. So join us next time on Beast Quest Reviews, where we do none other than the next beast is Taro, the Arctic Menace. Till next time, guys. Peace. Hey guys, welcome back to Beast Quest. And here we are with Series 13, Book 2, Taro, the Arctic Menace. And it's been a while since we've done Beast Quest, but hopefully this one will come out just as well. So, we'll start it off like we always do with the in-depth story analysis of each part and all that stuff, and then I'll give my overall thoughts on the book. So if you're keeping up with these videos, you know it's going to be spoilers in depth for the review and all that stuff for the book. And if you've kept in touch with the plot of Series 13, we'll go from there. But without further ado, let's go over the plot. Tom and friends arrive through a portal, which took them to a snowy area where they would face the next beast. We also get the judge's name, Jezrin. Mind you, so far we haven't encountered Kensa or Senpei, so I'm curious what they're up to. Anyway, a blizzard was coming, and the only way they were going to survive would be to bury themselves under the snow using the map as an air hole and Silver's fur to keep warm. Tom and friends had awoken. They had survived the blizzard all through the night and soon were greeted by some people. A woman named Rana convinced her people to trust them and give them some cloaks. She explained that a fox beast has been terrorizing them and they are scared who they can trust. but they shouldn't ignore every stranger they see. Our heroes were given cloaks, yet so thin were considered the warmest material ever. They explained it was no magic. They had been doing this for centuries and created the warmest cloaks over the kingdoms. Tom and the people joined together, and they decided to head through the safe route while sharing information. While Bronwyn explained her knowledge of the beast known as Taro, who would hide in the snow and jump on nearby travelers, which explains why the travelers were so scared of Tom and Eleanor hiding in the snow. But Tom couldn't tell them of their quest, so he made an excuse that Silver was out there hunting. However, they were soon interrupted as Tom nearly fell to his death. That was a close shave. Tom was saved by the new companions, and after thanking them, he soon realized that the map needed them to go that way down the cliff that Tom nearly fell into, which meant it was time to say goodbye. Their departing companions told them they could keep the cloaks in the bitter cold. With the final wave goodbye, our heroes made their way down the cliff, and while Tom had known of Eleanor's fear of heights in mind, something else clouded his head, something even himself didn't know what it was. But it was telling him not to focus on the quest at all. My guess is Kensa or the judge Jezrin. Tom was curious how they could get down when Eleanor remembered him of Screik's glove. He had Screik's gloves, the monster they fought last time. Once they had defeated the beast, a pair of gloves were left behind, which they believed would contain the sticky slime of Screik. If it was true, Tom used the gloves to... Yeah, it was true, because it was true. And Tom did use the gloves to Spider-Man his way down with Eleanor on his back, while Silver hopped from rock to rock to reach the bottom. But there was a point in his journey down where Eleanor was scared. If she would fall, she would ask Tom what to do, and in his mind he told it, "That's your problem." That strange feeling in Tom's mind was stirring again. Luckily, Tom managed to fight it, and they successfully reached the bottom. Tom and friends reached the bottom to discover a valley of human skeleton corpses, one of which held a dagger, which Eleanor took as it could prove useful. Also, Tom was still wondering what was causing him to lose focus on his quest. Soon they noticed an owl with a rope tied around its legs, which indicates it belonged to someone, and the owl had blood on its wings, and where there was blood, you're sure to find a beast. Tom was questioned by Eleanor if they really insisted on leaving the Warrior's Road, as he was aware of its consequences if he failed. This led into a strange feeling getting in the better of Tom, and this time it caused Tom to lash out at Eleanor a bit. Soon they reached the wounded man in the snow. It was impossible to heal his wounds. His death was close at hand, but suddenly a mysterious force glanced in the man's eyes, and he held Tom with the remainder of his dying strength as Taro was given enough time to make his entrance. Again, I'm thinking this is either Kensa or Jezrin, controlling Tom's mind and this man. Still, I'm hyped right now. Tom and friends faced Taro finally. It started to go for Eleanor, but Tom saved her, which allowed Taro to have the wounded man in his sights, who was quickly killed. This caused his pet owl Mori to lash out and attack Taro. Meanwhile, the cloaks were given to them, but the travellers had taken hold in their bodies. Our heroes assumed the travellers had been paid by Jezrin to sabotage their quest. It could also explain the reason for Tom's strange mind trick. But with our heroes tangled, it wouldn't be long before Mori and Silver were beaten. They had to break free. Tom was freed by Eleanor, as she had picked up a dagger previously and used it to free Tom. Using the sticky gloves of Screik, Tom climbed onto Taro and led him straight off a cliff, where Tom finally managed to rid himself completely of the magical cloak, as the remaining tatters were finally torn from his neck. Taro was still alive, climbing back on the beast's tail. Tom was ready. Eleanor had tossed him her dagger, and she even shot an arrow, creating a huge snowball. Tom steered Taro into a tight, small-spaced cave, with the snowball right behind them. Tom jumped off at perfect timing, leaving Taro to face the full force of the snowball, entombing him in the cave. Taro was confirmed dead, as a token emerged from his snowy tomb. They uncovered a claw which would be used as a throwing weapon. After a bit of walking, they reached a warm water spring, and the warm waters heated their bodies to full strength. once out of the entire, once out of the water, the entire snowy area of ice and snow melted. They no doubt assumed it was Jezrin who was behind this. You know, because the snow was probably part of the testing stuff, and they passed it, so they were rewarded with the warm waters, and it melted the snow and ice. They also knew they had to be careful and who they trust. Soon they reached the Warrior's Road and headed out to continue their quest. What I did find confusing was they stated earlier in the series, of this series in particular, was the beasts are tests, but in this book Taro was a decoy to lure them away from the road. But then it switched back again where our heroes mention when the beast when they beat the remaining beasts it will be done. But since the beasts provide magical tokens on his quest and help him in the future, I'm going to say they are tests, because Jezrin would never give him tokens. He seems more willing to take them off Tom. But yeah, I will say this is an awesome book for Taro the Arctic Menace. Easily better than Screik in my opinion, because well, that's kind of easy peasy, because you have to set up what the plot is on the first book, but yeah, Taro is a very good book because there are twists everywhere, the characters, you're not sure what's up with Tom, the beast is a nice change, instead of sometimes being a wolf, we've got a fox-like creature, and going into the snow, and being counted in a mental standpoint more than a physical standpoint. And there was a part in the book where I thought the beast was dead, where he fell off the cliff the first time. I really like this one, so overall I will say Taro is an awesome book. But then again, like I said, I've only read, not because, you know, the other book was Screik, and that's just the first one, so this is pretty easily to be the first one. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and next time on Beast Quest, we'll be doing our next awesome book, which will be Slivke, the Cold-Hearted Curse. Till next time, peace. Hey guys, welcome back to Beast Quest, Series 13, Book 3, Slivke, the Cold-Hearted Curse. Before I start, I want to say, I now change how I pronounce the name of the last beast. Originally I called him Taro, but now I realize it sounded like there was an extra A in it, so it's actually Taro. So before we start, I want to say, first of all, best book of Series 13 so far. It does a lot of things similar to Taro, but it actually takes it a step further, and I'll go into detail about that when we go through the story, which is right now. So here we go then. Tom and friends had to cross an ice lake to reach the next location on their quest. Tom insisted while Eleanor was more hesitant, but after some cracking ice and sadly losing the map, they had reached the next location. Without the map, Tom was now the only one who would know the right way, but it would seem the Warrior's Road was fading, and without the map, they were lost. Tom and friends soon saw the Warrior's Road again, only this time they were stopped, when a man cried out in pain. Our heroes were cautious, as previously they had been through this trick while facing Taro. They found the man with a twisted leg. While Eleanor healed it, the man, known as Calm, gave them information on the next beast, saying it was a giant lizard with 3 eyes. They planned to take Calm back to his house and continue their journey, only to be ambushed by men who shot poison darts into them. Was this all a plan to capture Tom and friends? The villagers blamed Tom as he believed he was the cause of the beast being in the village. Tom and Eleanor awoke to be greeted by Calm's people. Tom tried to ask Calm to tell them they didn't bring the beast, but he was too scared to say anything. They were introduced to Jenko, a young boy a little older than Tom. He held a lot of pride, which Tom used to his own advantage. He told them that he could kill the great lizard. Of course, they didn't believe him. Then Tom challenged Jenko to a duel to prove his own strength. They would fight with spears, and if Tom won, they would set Eleanor free. If he lost, they would be burned in flames. And on another bright note, they had not captured Silver, which is a hope on their side, of course. Jenko wasted no time and charged right at Tom. I must say this intrigues me, because we have a character that can rival Tom, similar to his age and all that stuff. Tom got into an epic scuffle with Jenko, and in the fight, Tom refused to use his dual powers, as he wanted to prove to Jezrin, the evil judge, that he could beat the Warrior's Road without his tokens. Soon Tom turned the tide about and managed to win the duel, which left everybody angry and caused a spear to be thrown at him. Tom and Eleanor were introduced to an elder, who ordered his people to release Eleanor, and he took them into his home. He was revealed to be a shaman called Arthur, and he showed them visions of Tanner taking the Warrior's Road, while going into more detail that no one has come this far and never beaten the next beast, which Arthur revealed the name Slivke, which I'm going to assume is a girl from the sound of the name. Now Arthur knew Tom was the warrior challenging the Warrior's Road. He gave him of the people's poisoned darts that could prove helpful on his quest, which explains how the people got them. Arthur obviously made them. He handed them their satchel, which Taro's claw, the token from the last quest, had in, and they departed. Tom and friends headed out, now gaining the respect of the villagers, and they headed first to find the Warrior's Road, but Eleanor suddenly heard Silver's howls. She raced after, which led them off course of the Warrior's Road. However, Slivke had finally revealed himself to our heroes, and yes, they do confirm Slivke is a male. They learned that Slivke has a long tongue, but there was a dart impaled it, no doubt where Calm had attacked previously. However, the fight was cut short when Slivke knocked Tom's sword hilt into his face, causing temporal blindness. Eleanor led Tom away from Slivke. They couldn't continue fighting like this. They soon discovered that Gogmuth was the name of the volcano, and when they headed there, they found Silver, but Gogmuth was going to erupt. I should have mentioned last chapter, Arthur mentioned of something called Gogmuth, and this is where they realize what it is. It's a volcano. And once again, our heroes leave the road, yet still encounter the beast, which I'm still to get that kind of thing. And something I also should have mentioned is Silver and Slivke have similar names, so I might get confusing there. Tom attempted to rescue Silver, but there was no way of reaching him. He was no way in reach. He was on a rock surrounded by lava, and soon Silver's rock would sink. But Slivke showed to face Tom, and he had to leave to give Eleanor time to rescue Silver. Tom took the fight to the top of the tree, but soon backfired. But he was able to discover from his higher vantage point the Warrior's Road is leading Tom towards Gogmuth, the volcano, which luckily was no longer erupting. However, Slivke had once again found Tom, and this time there was nowhere to run. I should also mention Tom hurt his ankle in his scuffle with Slivke. Tom noticed the Warrior's Road wanted him to go inside the volcano as it led him to a small opening. But Slivke easily managed to break in it, and would seem Slivke is immune to molten rock. The fight is now taking place inside of Gogmuth. Tom didn't understand why the Warrior's Road would lead him in here. They were in a fight area where they'd both be killed. When the tunnel fills up, of course, which seemed to spark an idea in Tom's mind. He tricked Slivke into shooting his own tongue at a molten rock wall, and this caused his tongue to get stuck. Even though Slivke's hide was immune to molten rock, it would seem his tongue was not. Now Tom had to leave immediately. Tom was about to leave, but he had a change of heart, and couldn't leave Slivke to die like this. No beast deserves such a fate. There wasn't time to communicate, so Tom used Taro's claw to cut Slivke's own tongue off to free himself from the rock. However, doing this action didn't cause Slivke to attack Tom, but instead he disappeared before his very eyes, leaving the next token, a scale from Slivke's body. Tom made his escape. He saw Eleanor and Silver. Eleanor had been given a spear by Jenko, who had arrived to help. He passed Tom a spear, and he used it to pole vault himself to Eleanor and Silver. They were together, but now, how would they escape the lava? Tom and friends used the remains of their spears to escape the lava flow, with Tom following behind as he righted his shield like a surfboard to shore. I must admit that's pretty cool. Luckily, it was only a scorch, nothing major damage to the shield. Tom had created a new friend in Jenko, telling them that Slivke, again these names, will be bothered them no time soon, but they should prepare if the beast ever rises again. But as they departed for the next portal, a mysterious hooded figure grabbed Tom from the other side and pulled him in. I'm hoping this is not I hope it is a new character and not Jezrin, Kenta, or Sanpeo, because that would kind of ruin the point of the chapter. But yeah, sorry about that, guys. I think I went with a bit of a scuffle in that one. Hopefully it came out a bit clearer than I expected. But yeah, that was my little analysis on Slivke. Like I said, best book of Series 13. It's got the elements that made Taro awesome, like going into a cave, but a bit further. Because in Taro died inside a cave when the snow avalanche crushed him. While in here, you know, Slivke doesn't die by brute force, he dies in a respectful way. It really does feel like a challenge. Tom goes back to save the beast and doesn't let it die, and of course that earns him the next token, and he passed this trial. And I do like that. And it does feel more like a trial than an actual quest, which is what it should be. This is the Warrior's Road, the challenge to prove if Tom's worthy. And so far I think this one has proved to me, at least, the best one of those trials. So yeah, that's the reason why I think Slivke, to me, is the best book of Series 13, because it feels more like a trial, a challenge to prove worth to Tom. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Slivke, the Cold-Hearted Curse. And next time on Beast Quest, we'll be doing another awesome beast, and that will be Linka, the Sky Conqueror. Till next time, peace. Hey guys, welcome back to Beast Quest, Series 13, Book 4, Linka, the Sky Conqueror. And it's been a while since we've done Beast Quest, hasn't it? But here we are again. So without further ado, as we always do, in-depth story analysis, and I think I'll give my thoughts overall on this book. So, let's go over it. Our story starts already with a kicker. Tom is captured by a mysterious hooded figure and is led into some type of chamber room, where they begin a duel. We do see a beard on this figure, but not his face. He tells Tom to focus on the fight, and not his friends, who arrive to help him. Tom calls them off, so he can fight him personally. However, Tom was still having his ankle recover after his fight with Slivke. The warrior knew about the Warrior's Road, and said that someone like Tom shouldn't be on it. He wanted Tom to go back home to his aunt and uncle. Despite Tom's best efforts, he was overpowered and beaten. So this is already intriguing. This warrior knows who knows who Tom is, that Tom's living with his aunt and uncle, and the way he's talking, with the whole vibe of having Tom more focused on the fight than insulting any lower than just the one. I'm going to say he's either Tanner, the original Master of the Beasts, as he's the only person to be on this quest, which would explain how he knows the information he knows. Plus, he could have easily grown a beard in that time. 2, it could be just another test from the Warrior's Road, which kind of weakens it for me if that's the case, because I'm expecting more than that. Or finally, and obviously, it could be Jezrin or one of his hired goons to teach Tom a lesson, which I'm hoping is not the case. I'm hoping more than that. Tom was saved by Eleanor, who shot arrows at the warrior, and as he turned into the light, his face became visible, but Tom didn't seem to recognize him, but he did ponder there's something familiar about him. Okay, with this information I was reading, I had a vague wonder if this was Taladon. Yes, I know Taladon, he's dead, but in a world with magical sorcerers, beasts, and with supernatural powers and tokens that can do anything, would it really be hard to bring back someone from the dead? You know, so that's a possibility. Anyway, while Eleanor kept an eye on the warrior, Tom retreated back to Eleanor, while the warrior confronted Eleanor, saying he knows her fighting style too well. Again, adding to my theory of Taladon or Jezrin. The warrior retreated, and they heard a yell, assuming the warrior had found another victim in this new world they had entered. They found a girl, wounded, calling out for someone named Aldo. It was at this moment I noticed a repetition. It probably started with Screik, but I noticed it more with Taro. Heroes wander on the quest, encounter a wounded person with some connection to the beast. Yes, I know this has happened in other series prior, but never has it felt so more blatant than this in this series. There even at times when our heroes and the story itself mentions this. So that's there. Tom and friends heard. Tom and friends heard she mentioned an eagle-like beast, but with no legs. They assumed it was the next beast and couldn't leave her to die, so Tom and Eleanor carried her into the village. Now Tom's ankle still hasn't recovered from Slivke's last fight, and he's refusing to heal it with his dual belt powers, which he could easily do. But Tom wants to prove to Jezreel he can do it without his powers. Damn, Tom's got some serious courage. They reach the town. I should quickly mention they discover Aldo is her brother. The town takes Asha to be healed and tell Tom and Eleanor they were expected and their princess has arrived. Now that's getting intriguing. They entered the princess's chambers only to find Petra. They asked what she was doing here, and she explained she wanted to observe Tom fail on his quest, as she doesn't believe he can beat it. She came across the village, and after showing off some magic, they believed her to be a princess, and treated her royally. Tom hating how Petra was using the people to her own gain, but they asked why she sent the warrior to attack Tom. Petra claimed she had no connection to this warrior. She soon revealed she was really here for the stone glass, an alloy hidden in the Sunspear Mountain. She had sent 2 villagers to get some, only to have one missing and the other injured. Tom and Petra made a bargain. Tom needed help finding the warrior's road, and he knew Petra had the power to help. So obviously Petra asks Tom and Eleanor to get the stone glass and claims she'll help them out. Of course, it was hard to trust her, but what choice did they have? Another interesting element at play, of course. Tom and Eleanor were preparing to set off. They got some information about the stone glass, that it looked black, but it still shone brightly. Then Petra arrived to tell them the next beast, known as Linka, the Sky Conqueror, guards the stone glass and stops people from getting it. This info was just to rub in our heroes' faces to hope they get beat, basically. Now I will wonder if the beast is meant to be guarding Sunspear Mountain, and Tom has to fight these beasts in order to win, as well as following the warrior's road. Does that mean he's meant to go towards the mountain because the beast is already guarding the mountain? I'm wondering. Otherwise, it makes no sense to me, because these beasts only come out when someone takes the warrior's road, and if it's guarding the stone glass, there must be some connection to that spot in this. Okay, they carried on climbing, and you could feel the pain Tom was going through as he climbed up. But then they heard Silver howl, and suddenly a rock slide and came their way. Yeah, I'll get to the Silver stuff probably at the end, because they did leave Silver behind. But I'll get to that in the end and explain about that. Tom used his climbing rope to dodge the rock fall, and after a few more scuffling with rocks, they saw Linka attacking, which was no doubt Aldo. While Eleanor would get the stone glass, Tom would distract Linka. She was hesitant, but Tom reminded he didn't have the strength to keep climbing anyway. He had to fight. It was his quest, after all, to defeat the beasts. Tom used the Slivke's scale and tossed it well, and it gashed Linka badly. She came to Tom for some revenge, and at this chapter, I really like how far Tom and Eleanor's friendship has come. And what it makes it more impressive to me is that they never ever make them a couple, and I honestly admire that friendship. Between the two of them, it's well done, and as we continue through these quests, it's only going to get way better and better. Tom began his fight with Linka only to be pushed by his injured ankle. All would have been lost when Eleanor came in shooting arrows to save Tom. She had found a better position to fire her arrows, giving Tom the time to enter the crack and find Aldo. He explained they had Asher back at Pyrus Village, and Tom apologized as he was the reason the beast was here. Linka made her move. Tom told Aldo to get Linka's attention, while he would take some rope and prepare to surprise the beast. It worked. Linka was heading for Aldo, and Tom's rope trap had caught Linka. However, she was not done. She hoisted herself up, taking Tom, as he was also hanging onto the rope. Kinda had feeling this was gonna take place in the air at some point, because flying beast. Linka planned to dive and send Tom crashing into the rocks. Tom had to climb up the rope before it was too late, but Linka was moving more faster than Tom's climbing. Tom lightened the fall and rolled to the ground on the level side of the mountain. Linka thought she had won, but Eleanor came to scare off Linka. Eleanor came to scare off Linka. Then Tom told her to lay it down, as Linka couldn't get them lying down, as she has no feet to grasp the ground on her prey. There an idea shot into his head. He figured out how to beat Linka by using Eleanor's bow and her rope and tying it to the other side of a large boulder. They would anchor Linka down to the ground. Without legs, she would never take off again, which makes perfect sense, and I have to give props to Adam Blade. He created a beast that really felt like a challenge more than another beast to slay. Linka was more like a video game boss, and finding her weakness is what would pass the challenge. You know, what I said previously to Slivke, how it should feel more like this quest is meant to be filmed like a challenge than an actual quest. And I really like how that's being planned out so far. After Eleanor uses herself as bait to draw Linka, Tom sprung the trap and the anchor was drawing Linka closer and closer to the ground. Eleanor could easily kill her now, but Tom told her not to fire. He wanted to give Linka the chance to surrender. They pushed her to the ground completely and asked her to surrender, of course. On a side note, how is Tom communicating to the beast if he said he wouldn't use his powers on this quest, so he would play fair? I guess the red jewel is okay to use then. But anyway, of course, Linka still tries to kill Tom. It fails, she fades away, leaving nothing more but her feather, along with Slivke's scale. That's another thing I want to note. The tokens don't seem to be fading away, like in previous series, when Tom would win something from a beast. I'm not counting the shield ones or the dual belt powers, so that's new. Only problem is how they would get down from the mountain. Tom and friends, and yes, it would seem Silver was there the entire time with them. They just didn't seem to focus on him at all, which explained the howling. Anyway, Eleanor had gotten some stone glass and they headed back to Pyrus Village, so there was an easy way to get down that mountain after all. Asher and Aldo reunited and Petra was ready for the stone glass, but they wouldn't give it to her until she kept her end of the bargain. So after throwing one sample of stone glass into the fire, Petra created the stone glass tablet, a mystical relic that would reveal the warrior's road, whoever held the tablet. She even was there to see them off as they had a bite to eat. Eleanor was thinking that Petra had changed. Tom wasn't so sure. She acted nice out of payment, but the road led them to an abyss. The mystery warrior showed up, telling Tom not to jump and he's a fool. Tom, just to show his badass, and he ignored the mystery warrior and jumped in with his friends into the abyss. And that's obviously setting up for the next quest. Overall, Linka's gotta be the best book of Series 13 so far. I mean, I was surprised. Could anything really beat Slivke? Because I was wondering if they weren't going to make these beasts an actual challenge, because this series is meant to be more of a challenge to pass tests to prove that Tom is worthy of his title. And that's what you need to keep in mind. The first two, Yeah, we had Screik. That was kind of a challenge. It felt more like a challenge. Then you got Taro, it didn't feel more like a challenge at all. Slivke, I did explain how awesome that was, and I was wondering if they could actually do it again, so we could have some more challenges to finish up Series 13. And yes, he did. Adam Blade gave us another awesome, challenging beast, and it makes sense. So like I said, perfect video game boss fight type scenario, and with the stuff with Petra, it easily, to me, overpowers what Slivke did. This book takes what Slivke had, and it goes a step further with it, introducing the mysterious figure and having Petra back as, not this villain, but this other mysterious force you can't trust. Awesome book, really great. And next time on Beast Quest, we'll be moving on to the next awesomeness, which I believe is called Vermock, the spiteful scavenger. But we're not done just yet.
By order of me, Dark Lord, I suggest you go subscribe to the Dimensional Gaming Squad, as there you will see reviews of the beasts, a review of Beast Quest from the beast's point of view, where they will be rated, judged and all. So what are you waiting for? Annotation will be ready.
But till next time, guys, peace. Hey guys, welcome back to Beast Quest, Series 13, Book 5, Vermock, the Spiteful Scavenger. And, this is an interesting book, really. it's actually tied with Linka for the first spot in Series 13 right now. Because, while Linka was an actual great challenging book, which I said probably rivals Slivke, I forget, but if I didn't, if I said Linka was better, or if they were tied, it's now either a freeway tie, or I think I did prefer Linka though. I need to check my reviews, but anyway, let's just say Linka's the best one so far because I have a few extra points maybe, and this one rivals it now. But yeah, Vermock rivals Linka's potential basically, and I'm going to go to the overall story and explain why. So without further ado, let's go into this awesome book. Tom and friends had fallen safely into the next location, a ruined city. They're very nervous. Why would the Warriors' Road lead them here? But anyway, they ventured forth only to have a giant lion gargoyle collapse. Luckily, they just missed it. But Tom was having doubts. He remembered the mysterious warrior who couldn't believe Tom would beat his quest. Now Tom was having those doubts too. Well, in my opinion, Tom's doing well so far. Back in Slivke, the people said only Taro got past him. Everyone else perished, and look at Tom now. He bet 2 beasts left. Because back in book 3 they said no one else could beat Slivke except for Taro. I don't think she let those doubts get to him if he's like beaten a beast that only one person has gotten past. Tom and friends soon found a body, only this time the man was dead, so quite a nice change. Tom felt bad for a moment as the man had died pretty recent. He believed he could have done better to save this man, but Eleanor comforted him, saying, "You can't save everyone." They tried to give the man a decent burial, but a swarm of rats came after them, and they left the body and made a run for it. Soon they escaped the vermins and heard someone's footprints. They weren't alone. Someone had arrived, getting the jump on them. Tom and friends faced the hooded warrior again, only this time he revealed his face. For a second, Tom thought it was his father, Taladon, but there were a few small features that were different. The warrior claimed he knew Eleanor and Tom as friends, and they had no clue what he was talking about. And suddenly, tremors went off, and Eleanor made her move, disarming the warrior. When he disarmed Tom, but Eleanor loosed her balance and fell into a chasm. So, what I just said there was, warrior disarms Tom, Eleanor disarms warrior, Eleanor falls in chasm, basically. Okay, this warrior is either Jezrin now or Taro to me. Could still be Taladon. Well, that may maybe, but I'm more confident it's Taro, as he said he's been following the Warrior's Road, and only a man aside from Tom has made it this far. Taro. Tom let the warrior escape. He had now lost his sword, so he took the warrior's sword he had left behind and climbed down to find Eleanor, alive, just with an injured leg. So this time it's Eleanor with the wounded leg. They went through tunnels and they brung up that the warrior's sword resembled Tom's, but soon they bumped into some travellers who explained that their friend had been killed by some falling rubble, which was the body our heroes found earlier. One of the travellers, Edmund, mentioned that this place is meant to be on the Warrior's Road, as the beast Vermock lives within the ruins. And then the eldest male, Peter, was dragged into the darkness, no doubt will be dead. Tom asked Edmund to explain the beast to him, and then he took the woman's torch and summoned Vermock. However, Vermock got the jump on Tom, and would have easily overpowered him if Eleanor not had lured him away from him. Tom knew Eleanor was injured, and he couldn't let her face Vermock alone. He took the torch and pursued through the tunnels. Soon he found Vermock, thanks to his foul stench. He had lost Eleanor, but he made his way to the surface, where they took the battle. Once again, Vermock got the surprise on Tom by using his tail to coil up our hero. Tom tried to fight back, but Vermock used his second tail to grab Tom's sword hand. It would have been over if Silver hadn't come in and saved him. With Vermock injured, he made a retreat into the city. Eleanor and the travellers arrived, and Tom instructed the travellers they should leave, while Tom and friends would handle Vermock. Once clear, they entered the city and reached inside a temple where they saw Vermock attacking the hooded warrior. He had Tom's sword. Tom couldn't let the man fight the beast despite all he's done. Tom had a kind heart, and he had to warn the man the temple was going to collapse. It was too late. By the time Tom reached the warrior, he was out cold and Vermock escaped into the ruined streets. The roof was about to cave on them when a falling statue blocked the rubbles, saving their lives. The statue was of Tanner. P.S. Tom did cut off one of Vermock's tails. Tom helped the warrior out of the ruined temple. They gave him some water and hoped to get some answers out of him. He told Tom he would never be the master of the beasts, which ticked Tom off, and he demanded to know who he was, which the man replied, "You'll never find out." Vermock returned, and of course, Vermock comes back for revenge, so while Tom went to face Vermock, Helena and Silver guarded the hooded warrior. Tom climbed a weakened ladder to face Vermock on the highest platform of the ruins, where all the aqueducts came from, which is basically like where, if you know what aqueducts are, they're like water channels, basically, currents, like pipes kind of things, only they're like semicircled. Tom was going to fall from the weakened ladder at one point, but used Linka's feather. The token made him lighter, enabling him to reach the top. He faced Vermock and tried to communicate with him, which only pissed him off, causing a sudden charge. Tom dodged and plunged into some water. He tried to get back up, but Vermock was awaiting him. So Tom got a sneak attack on Vermock, seriously wounding his belly. Vermock wobbled away and lost his balance, and smashed in onto an aqueduct, which caused the current to blast in his face, making him fall over the edge. His last tail called around a rock to save him. Tom told Vermock he had lost, and the rock gave way, making Vermock fall. As he fell, he was turned to dust, which floated in the breeze. So Tom climbs down the ladder, while also finding one of Vermock's tusks as the next token. He then joined Eleanor, Silver, and the hooded warrior. They all congratulated Tom of his victory, and yes, even the hooded warrior did too. He finally revealed himself to be an older version of Tom, but he told Tom the judge had been lying to him. The warrior's road was a trick, or basically. Older Tom had been walking the road for over 50 years. He advised Tom to give up, as the road was never-ending. It just goes on forever. So the road is basically a big trick, basically. I wonder, would that mean that Tom would face beasts over and over again in a never-ending cycle? It was Tom's choice if he would continue or give up. Okay, we know he's gonna say yes because there's a final book, but aside from that, now this could be either the Warrior's Road or Jezrin testing him a bit of a trick, with this older Tom basically. But if it is true, what happened to Ellen and Silver? And why didn't the older Tom ever give up in those 50 years? I'm hoping, I'm happy we got the mystery man revealed, but his identity raises more questions, so I'm hoping, of course, we get answers to these questions that I'm bringing up next time. But yeah, overall, this has been the book known as Vermock the Spiteful Scavenger. I have to say, like I said, you can see why I tie it with Linka. Again, I forget at this point in time if I had it tied with Slivke. I'll probably have to check. But, I'm sure I had Linka like a bit higher with a few points. But maybe I didn't. But, I'm just going to put it tied with Linka now. And if it's not, and if Slivke is tied with Linka already, then it's a three-way tie. But if I had to make an order out of the three of them, it would be Slivke, then Linka's better, and of course Linka would be tied with this one. And Linka's only ahead from Slivke by a few points. But Vermock is easily tied with the Spiteful Scavenger, you can see why. Yes, it doesn't have a challenging beast, but the stuff with the Hooded Warrior makes up for that, because we don't know if the Hooded Warrior is a challenge or not, so that if this is a challenge, or, it could be effective. Sure, I'm sure it's going to reveal, like, later on in the next book that, if it is a fake, then would this book matter? I'm just going off all the information off this book. Anything in that other book is basically going to that point. But, like, from this book's point of view, this interesting twist of the Hooded Warrior being an older Tom, telling him to not go any further because it never ends. He's been here for 50 years. We don't know what happened to Tom and Eleanor in those 50 years. Why didn't the man give up? All those questions raising. And of course we know Tom's going to say yes because next book obviously. But it does raise a lot of curiosity and a wonder for the future to keep you guys and keep us viewers invested in the next book. So based on all that, based on its anticipation, to read the final book. That's why I put it in the tight spot with Linka, because I was wondering how could they pull off another challenging beast, and instead it was less focused on the beast and more focused on this hooded figure, which is a nice twist. So because of that, I'm tying it with Linka. But yeah, this has been my attempt at doing Vermock the Spiteful Scavenger. But join us next time where we face our next final beast, where we face Koba, Ghoul of the Shadows. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the Dimensional Gaming Squad, where he's just uploaded Series 2 of his Beast Quest Beast Reviews, where he gives thoughts on the beasts. He's also done Series 1, so I'll probably put some videos and annotations up, and a link and an annotation to his channel there as well. So yeah, make sure you check that out. Till next time guys, peace. Hey guys, welcome back to Beast Quest, Series 13, Book 6, Koba, Ghoul of the Shadows, and it's time to wrap up Series 13. Before I start, I want to say, last video I forgot which book I rated higher, Linka or Slivke. Turns out it was Linka, so that means Vermock is tied with that. But anyway, let's wrap up Series 13. Also, in the prologue, Judge Jezrin is seen with a fallen warrior that is wearing what I believe is the golden armor. Jezrin is about to steal the armor. He does say that his goal was to become the master of the beasts, but then Koba shows up and says he doesn't deserve that armor as he didn't pass the warrior's road. And Jezrin ends up caught by Koba and thrown into a portal to a palace in Avantia ruled by some character called King Theo. What happened to King Hugo? Or is there more than one king in Avantia? So, if this plan was to become Master of the Beast, why didn't he do the road himself? Either he's lazy, or he had to be worthy to do it. Anyway, going on with it, Tom, of course, decided to finish his quest, with older Tom being forced to come with them. They arrived at a new kingdom, made of black marble. The entire kingdom seemed empty with fresh food laid for them. Older Tom rushed and began eating, saying that apple pie was as good as Aunt Maria's. But Tom and Eleanor were onto him, and they knew Aunt Maria made cherry pies. And Tom was curious why the older Tom wore his sword on his right side, while Tom always wore his on his left. Which, on a side note, I like, as I am a left-handed person, so it makes the connection between me and Tom a tiny bit closer. It's always good to imagine yourself as the hero, I think. Anyway, older Tom revealed he was really the final beast Koba, and he told Tom he had proven to be a worthy opponent. Okay, I did say in a previous book that one of my guesses was that this was a test by the Warrior's Road, but I would never have guessed he was a final beast. Tom and friends prepared to fight Koba, only for him to make a retreat into one of the castle towers. Tom and friends only have the room altered in some kind of twisted maze. Now to me it's unclear if Koba is the one doing this or it's the castle magic. If it is the castle, it would explain the disappearance of the people. If Koba, then he's more than just a shapeshifter. Anyway, Koba uses the maze tricks to his advantage after our heroes lost each other. Tom bumped into Eleanor, but then Koba knew she was a fake, as the real Eleanor always travels with Silver. Once again, Koba made a retreat, as the hole closed up behind him. Tom was pissed, slamming, but determined to get his hands on Koba for his deception. Our heroes believed if they kept following the road, he'll come to them, but then they heard Silver howl and he had already found them. Tom and Eleanor went back to help, but finding Koba seemed impossible. He tossed Silver aside, disarmed Tom, and destroyed Eleanor's bow. No surprise, he has been keeping a close eye on our heroes. Surely he revealed himself after Linka was defeated, but we don't know how long he was watching. He could have watched them from the very beginning of the Warrior's Road. My only issue is Koba says he's defeated hundreds of warriors, which makes no sense. As stated previously in Slivke, the shaman said no one has ever beaten Slivke apart from Tana. Yeah, maybe he could say the shaman was lying, but the shaman was very kind to Tom. Besides, would you believe someone who tricked you? I wouldn't. Our heroes were going to be eaten, but Silver saves them just in time, only to be tossed off again by Koba. After Tom chased after Koba, he transformed into Taladon to do the whole "listen to your father" it started to get to Tom as he felt responsible for Talabon's death. Tom's heart sank, and as Koba said, "You failed the beast quest." Tom got to his senses. He knew that his father would never say that. He fought back the impostor only for Koba to try Adaro's form, but with the help of Eleanor, Tom was reminded of all the quests he had accomplished. If anyone deserves the title of the beasts, master of the beasts, it was Tom. And since Koba became an Adaro, in looks, he doesn't have the magic as the original, but he did have the flaws of an old man. Tom easily tackled the fake. Now Koba had it, and began to fight serious. He tried to get rid of Tom's sword again, but he easily got it back. Tom made a retreat behind a room, locking the door, revealing the coffins of the warriors who had died trying to gain this title. At the back of the room was an empty tomb, having Tom's name inscribed on the coffin. They then heard a moaning sound and found one warrior alive, chained to the wall. He revealed himself to be Tana, the original master of the beasts. Now before I go on, our heroes say that Jezrin said that only a handful of warriors completed the Warriors' Road, which again is bullshit, like I said. The shaman stated only Tana got past Slivke, so he was clearly lying to raise Tom's hopes. This also means Tana's tomb in the Gallery of Tombs was a cover-up. Anyway, Tana explained that if Tom beats Koba, he will become evil himself, which makes our heroes put together Jezrin's plan. He wanted Tom to take the Warriors' Road, so he destroyed the band scroll. Tom had to take it. Even if he succeeded, he would be evil. Avantia would be scared as he no longer defeats beasts, he slays them. Yeah, basically. But Tom had to defeat Koba. Avantia needed it to protect her, but Tana warned him he would lose his soul. P.S. I like Tom smashing his own coffin, refusing to accept what his fate is meant to be. Tom left Tana with Eleanor and Silver. P.P.S. Tana says he has beaten Koba many times, which mentioned for a reason later. So yeah, Tana says he has beaten Koba many times, but like I said, I'm mentioning this up for a reason later. Tom faced Koba again, and after a scuffle, Koba became Freya. The trick seemed to work, but Tom soon caught on and avoided the attacks. So gaining the upper hand and overpowering Koba, Koba got kicked back hard by Tom, slamming her into some coffins. And I say her because Koba is in the form of Freya, which was pretty badass, I must say. But Eleanor arrived saying Tana had escaped and the evil had corrupted him. Now there are two enemies. Tom saw Tana and Koba fighting each other. Tana was determined to win, blinded by hateful lust. Koba tried to become Tana's grandmother to throw him off guard, but that didn't stop the madman. Our heroes tried to break up the fight, but the illusions came back, altering the room, which made Tana twice as big as Koba. Then Tom finally broke up their fight with Eleanor chaining up Tana, as she had now lost her bow. Mind you, there is a picture of her bow when it should be destroyed. We also see that Koba can change weapon sizes to the form he is. So, say he's like a child, he'll have an axe the shape of a child, or if he's in his beast form, he'll have one his size, which is what he does to an axe. It appears to be axe time then, doesn't it? Tom fights Koba again, despite him turning into Uncle Henry, King Hugo, Mark the Apprentice. It would seem Koba was not putting in much effort as before. Koba then forced Tom to kill him. Tom refused, demanding he yielded, basically give up, which explains how Tana is by killing Koba. He is now cursed with the temptation of evil beasts, to slay evil beasts, because he keeps trying to beat him, but, evil beast temptation. Speaking of Koba, changing his target, he went after Tana. Tom stopped Tana from killing Koba. Yeah, because Tana tried to kill Koba because of the whole lust spell. Koba goes back to his true form, corners Tom by revealing his wind powers. Then Tom was shocked when he saw Malvel holding Tom's sword, and he was ready to kill our hero. So this is either a trick, or somehow Malvel survived Frono's blast and somehow ended up in the Warriors' Road. I'm more than likely it's a trick, because Koba suddenly was dropped from the subject when Malvel showed up. Didn't he even notice Malvel enter, or better yet, anyone notice? I should also mention Tom sliced some of Koba's fingers off. Tom was shocked, but Eleanor saved him, throwing Koba's clawed fingers into Malvel's back, and of course, it's Koba impersonating Malvel. After that failed, Koba tried one more one more form, Eleanor's mother. As Eleanor's mother had passed away in a fire, she knew that this was a fake. Tom, having enough of Koba's, demanded him to yield, in which Koba lowered his head, and nothing left of him but the green eye, the final token. Which tells me the road isn't over yet, otherwise there would be no more tokens. This ain't some trinket, I'm sure, you know, there is something in this orb that must do, obviously. That's another thing. I don't recall them using Vermock's tusk at any point in this book, so that's a waste. So why have the second token, or why have the second to last token if you're not going to use it? But yeah, Tanner had gotten back the golden armor. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's the golden armor, you know, the golden armor, or just a random suit of armor that is gold. But Tom tries to save Tanner, but Tanner has accepted his fate. You know, he's accepted his fate. Pulling a moment from the Last Crusade with the knight raising his hand as they all leave, and it's all crumbling around them. But when they got back, Tom had an evil vibe. He wanted to start hurting Silver in his mind as they approached the castle, and of course Jezrin was on the throne. Jezrin shows them Adaro, and then Tom becomes evil. Tanner warned him if he defeated Koba that this would happen. Tom ordered Eleanor imprisoned. Silver was magically encaged and left with Jezrin. Jezrin wanted the green orb, but Tom revealed it to himself. His memories became clear, and he destroyed the orb, causing a powerful sparks. One freeing Silver, who freed Eleanor, and the other blasted at Jezrin, making him vanish from sight. Adaro ordered the king freed from his cell to assume the throne, while he explained that Jezrin was hopefully banished from their sights. Tom now knew it was that green eye that corrupted his mind, which isn't how Tanner works. He never had the eye, because he never killed Koba, because he was still alive, so that's a plot hole there, but whatever. Anyway, everyone celebrated King Hugo, and Tom was now master of the beasts again. Only question, well, technically two questions, but we'll get to that. Only question, does he still have the golden armor, or did that go with Tanner? So that's something I want to know. Also, this makes the prologue confusing. Did Jezrin get transported to where Koba was found? Yeah, where Koba was found with, where Koba was? I think. Yeah, where Koba was found with Tanner. So I'm thinking, like, Jezrin gets blasted by the green orb. Does he get, and we got the prologue stuff, right? Does that mean he gets teleported to the road where, where Koba was found? He tried to steal the armor of, Tanner. Then Koba grabs him, throws him into Avantia with a kingdom ruled by King Theo? Or is this another alternate realm setting up for something later? Because the prologue normally is something that happens in the past, normally, most of the time. So either that's like foreshadowing for the future, with this alternate kingdom or whatever, because the ending, or should I say the prologue, is kind of the one big chunk that makes no sense, unless it's planned on later down the road or explained. But all that aside though, aside from that prologue section, it's a really great book, really. Obviously, I would say, yes, the best book in Series 13, and of course it's once again sad that the best book is the last book, but normally that's the case. And I can see that Adam Blade really want to put a lot of effort and heart to this one, because I think this is another point where he probably felt like the series was going to be cancelled, because this is the end of the era of 6 books, and it was dropped, but luckily he was able to make some more, and we have the book series of sets of books of 4, which is nice. So maybe it was another 4, like, oh, I think the series is going to end, but no, he brought it back in another way. Easily the best book, like I said. So many twists and turns with Koba, changing all the forms, and as the fight progressed, Tom got stronger and stronger, managing to overpower physically and then mentally with the dark magic stuff. And then you got the stuff with Tanner, which I knew he was going to take a part in this adventure, because he was the first warrior to go on the Warrior's Road. I knew at some point they would encounter him, so I was expecting that. But yeah, I would say there has been a lot of talk about Koba being one of the best beasts ever. I didn't really understand the story until now, so from a lot of fans that appreciate this book of Beast Quest, I understand where you're coming from, how it's so awesome. But yeah, this has been my attempt at doing another than Koba from the Ghoul of Shadows. Koba, Ghoul of the Shadows. That's it. Koba, Ghoul of the Shadows. There we go. But next time on Beast Quest, we'll be facing another awesome beast when we get to Series 14, and that's where the series itself starts using subtitles. So there won't be any like nicknames like the Warrior's Road or the Dark Realm or anything like that. They've just dropped that and just like put Beast Quest on the titles. So next time on Beast Quest, we'll be doing Series 14, starting off with, book number 1 on it, with Wrathcore, the Stampeding Brute. Till next time, guys. Oh, and of course, one more thing before I go. Make sure you go and subscribe to the Dimensional Gaming Squad, like I said, so you can see Beast Quest reviews from the Beast point of view. Till next time, guys, peace.